Whoa. All right. Hi. Hello, guys. My name is Fariz from EDT, and welcome to our first AR podcast. And today we have our guest, Book of Lai. Uh,
Thanks.
hello.
Hello, hello,
And
hello.
with us, we have Amirul and Ikram, part of the ARFEST podcast team, where we're going to talk about AR and XR and everything in between. We can even touch about the industry, how is it going with the whole industry. So we're gonna make it casual, just for us to chit chat about XR in general. Okay, Lai, can you introduce yourself?
Hi guys, I'm Book of Lai. The artist name is called Book of Lai, but all of my friends and clients they call me Lai. Just Lai will do.
What do you
So
do?
I'm okay, okay. Too suddenly. So I'm a digital artist, and I specialize in illustration. I also run a small illustration studio based in KL. We focus on illustration based solutions for communication design. So I think I got into AR because I'm a very much a digital artist, and I think AR and the XR experience is like a canvas for digital artists. Because in traditional art we have canvas, we have papers, we have all the medium that people can touch, and always tend to think what is the future for digital art, because I don't think I'm gonna go into traditional art any soon. So until NFT comes out, I think NFT could elevate the value of digital art, as well as AR is one of the things that I put a lot of time into.
Interesting. So how do what was your first experience in AR? What was your first AR experience?
The first AR would be the layered illustration. We just take
Right.
export all of the layers and then make them pop, right? And I think those are like, aside from that, the first also like the 360-degree illustration, basically to map it into a sphere and then we watch it around. But then it's still very static to me. So because of AR, I think it has reached the limit of my idea, the imagination. So because of AR, I have to learn Blender myself. Although I'm still very much a beginner, but I think it can fulfill most of my idea right now. I.e., I can model out all the basic shapes and I can map my illustration on top of the basic shapes. And I think I really very into AR because or Spark AR as well. It's a no code app, I would say, because everything is just node based, right? So eventually I saw some really talented people in community using just like timer, like normal stuff like animation player, all that stuff. They can make a game out of it. So I just follow their steps and I kind of get their thinking already. So now I can make my own simple game as well. And everything is no code, but however the node is like super messy lah. But I
Yeah.
think I think Spark AR helps me a lot. I think not just me, a lot of people who have never touched code, they get into AR because of the no code ability from Spark AR.
I think the existence of Spark AR is what made most of us, like designers, illustrators, which tries to shy away from code, finally can make something a little bit like, it looks like you need a code for this, but actually you don't.
Yeah,
Um,
correct, correct.
there's a lot of resources out there. Also, and then there's a very strong community around Spark AR, and I think it's really helpful for us to have the community around us. If you have any bugs or questions, you can just always ask around around us for help, right?
Correct, correct.
I think it's also the fact that uh, Spark AR is just one of those programs that are just so accessible. Like for example, when you're using Blender or Illustrator, there's always a very steep learning curve where you
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of
yeah.
stop. Things become very advanced. But for Spark AR, it's just even if you don't know Blender, if you know how to use like any kind of digital software, you can always just plug it into Spark AR and just kind of, like Lai said, just kind of layer things, and you can still like end up with a really good filter or effect, which is kind of good for anyone to kind of I want to get into AR, and people you can actually tell them it's not that hard because it really isn't, right?
And
The
it's all
learning curve is easier, I would say. Yeah.
but it's like a semi-pro as well. Like,
Mm,
you know, we have material and then material have texture. I think for first time user to put something on a plane, you need to have a material, and then you need to texture the material. Only you can put something, right? So although it's very tedious, but it is still a very popular workflow for the future application purpose. So I think it is kind of semi-pro as well. It's not just for
mm,
beginner. You can't do drag and drop, but you know, for the tedious part, it built our thinking into a more professional workflow to how to say, to write our own material as well. I think I saw some people able to write really complex glass material that have all this reflection on very complex geometry 3D. Those are just pure using the stock stock AR only.
mm,
Yeah, I think it's very very good.
I think Ikram also, in terms of like coding side lah. I think just to add on what Ikram is doing, I'm quite impressed to what you've been doing all this while. Have you ever just put a spotlight on Ikram tiba-tiba kan? Have you been like, are you a coder or are you more a designer? How do you come about
Um, I
your
think I think like there's this current. I'm not sure that the this term ataupun like this role, right? I think it's quite new. It's called creative technologies. So I'm not if it's like a thing of like recent past few years or it's like been a long time, this creative technology. So I guess I am that lah. And because I don't think my design is used to be as good as it was before. Because right now I do more coding than actual design now. Yeah,
mm, mm, mm.
but I started out doing design first. But when I was in college, I mean, I was a MMU graduate. I was in the VR
Oh, were
degree.
you?
So yeah, I was.
Ah,
I think 2020 one graduate, I guess, or was it
mm,
2022? So it was recent. It was like last 2 years I
mm,
graduated. So during my college days, yeah, we learn a lot of 3D modeling, and then we do a lot of like more design stuff rather than actual code. I mean, we do learn Unity a bit, but most of the time, use I'll be the one who takes on the Unity
mm.
development part. So I guess from there I developed like, you know, I don't think I'm like a good coder or a good programmer, but I am very thankful for AIs. It has helped me a lot on making cool stuff
Coding.
lately. Yeah,
Right. Okay.
really helped me a lot to
That's
do cool
awesome.
stuff. Yeah.
I mean, with Lai and Ikram, I think you guys gonna make a very good team. So if you
Yeah,
you
yeah.
have something like, it needs a lot of codes, you have Ikram here just to help things around. And I think that's how things should be. If you want to try something new, it's all about collaboration as well.
Mm.
Okay, Lai. How do you see AR works as a part of your whole services suite of services, right? How does AR sits amongst your illustration work, your motion graphics work? How do you sell your service, or maybe just talk about how it sits amongst your other stuff?
As of now, it's more like a value adding for now, because I think because AI is not it's very device centric, so we need to have a latest iPhone only can do a very smooth transition, but it's definitely an improvement because when I first venture into AR, which is 2015 or something, we need to have a separate app. We always need to ask user, you know, get this separate app to do AR, but because of IG and Meta right now, I think the device is coming in already. So I think in the future it could be a full force. But right now, it's just pure value added. For example, we did packaging design, and we just tell client that, oh, you know, we can add value by doing AR. But then I always want to push AR towards more functional than just aesthetic. So it's not just layer pops up. I want something to have more information, like to demo how this thing is made. For example, I proposed to one of the client to to show how the wine is being made. Like the tube comes out and then fermented for 2 years or something. That kind of simple animation. So I think it has more value in the AR than the layer pops up and then everything just move, not just pretty.
What would
Yeah.
be your one liner of pitch for clients to adopt AR? Like, mm, this is definitely you won't sell AR first, right? You have
Yeah,
a
yeah,
product
yeah.
first, and then we wanna put in the AR element. What would you say to these clients?
I always say like there's one thing, if I do for you, you will guarantee online engagement.
Right,
It's
right.
guaranteed engagement than IG posts or like TikTok is guaranteed. That will be AR, because if you look at the stats, right, the AR stats are always quite good actually, and the
Mm,
user engagement is more than 30 seconds. I would say it's better than a website already. So this is my one liner for now.
right, right,
I
right, right.
would I would say like um, I just want to touch on how transformative AR has been in the past. Like in the past, in order to do AR, we'd have to like download an app.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
It'd be super complicated and super difficult just to tell someone, "Hey, can you download this app for this AR activation?" People are like, I have too much storage, I can't be bothered. But
Yeah.
nowadays, it's so easy because it's integrated into Facebook, Instagram. It's like I feel like if a company doesn't do it, they lose out on so much potential when it comes to
Yes.
like reaching your audience and all.
It's not just that. I think last time we always limit to the marker, right? You need
Mm,
on your name card something will pops up. I
yeah,
think right now we can just pop inside in the middle of your screen. The processor has gone so well that a cheap phone could recognize the environment space. I think it's pretty good. The trend is
yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's great. Yeah, in terms of like adoption of AR, I would say based on my experience, it's still something that people see as a value add, like what you mentioned, right?
Yeah,
One of the things that we want to do in AR Festival is to definitely show the AR is the thing, right?
yeah,
It's one time we want to put AR at the center stage. It's no longer like the thing by the way thing, but it is the thing. So hopefully we are able to find like-minded people that does AR, which definitely there are a lot of people out there, and try to congregate them in one place, and being able to show this to the potential users, to the users, to the people, to the clients, to the brands, to any organization that could find this interesting. Looking at that, what would you see the future potential of AR? Is it going to be just stuck on the phone, or are we really getting into all these wearables yet? What's your opinion on that, Lai?
I think the wearable is going to be coming in very soon. I think the most realistic wearable should be cabled wearable, like we used to
Mm,
have a cabled earphone. I think those has more potential than everything on your head, and
mm,
I'm really excited because I can see a lot of applications of using, not just, this is not AR, right? It's called like, it's like mixed reality already, MR or
yeah,
XR. So I'm really excited for that to become mainstream, for most people to have it in their specs or something, because I can see not just artwork perspective, but in terms of design, there are so many. It can be the main solution. For example, we can have a proper retail shop in front of your desk. So that's the kind of excitement, the potential that I can see in future XR, and I'm very excited for that time to come.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Oh, touching about shop fronts and retail, right? I think that's another usage of AR that I would say it's a device-free usage, where you can just come in front of the you go to in front of the screen, or what so, some and do like tryouts, virtual tryouts, glasses, dresses. I think that is something that in Malaysia, I know there's this one local I eyewear company that does it in Lalaport. They have this virtual tryout for brands. but I think that has a lot more potential in the future. I think there's a lot more brands that should adopt that. I think that's
Yeah.
another opportunity that I see lah. Yeah.
Because imagine we can just shop online. We look at reviews, we look at other people video, and we get so many imaginations on this kind of product. And when it's
Mhm.
in XR experience or AR experience, when we can look at the scale and the actual colors react to our real life, that will be more imagination. Pair up
Mm.
with all these testimonial. I think it's definitely gonna achieve like the true online retail.
Yeah, yeah. For
It
e-commerce
kind of
especially, yeah.
it kind of feels like we're prepping the next generation to
Yeah,
like get used to
Mm.
AR. Like
yeah, yeah.
here, this is the new norm now. You're gonna be
Yeah.
stuck with this for the rest of your life.
I,
So
I do think whatever that we do here is not for like, I don't know about Amir or Ikram, but for me, I'm a millennial, right? So whatever that we do in XR, I think is more for the Gen Z and the Gen Alpha,
yeah,
because they were born into this sort of digital space, and they're much more inclined to have things digitally rather than sometimes they don't want to
yeah,
go out from their rooms, right? So yeah, so I think one of the other part of AR is it has that mix of digital and also the actual world, like
Mm,
contextualizing what a digital asset can look like in a physical space, which makes it something different from VR, right?
yeah.
VR is 100% digital, which what I definitely love so much about AR is because of that. Yeah. Okay. Ikram, do you want to add anything? Do you have any questions for
No,
Lai?
just like speaking of like AR in retail, right? I think that's one app that I think very useful. I mean, I don't really use like any virtual try-ons. I mean, when I wanted to do like online shopping, right? Virtual try-ons, I guess I don't really like use them that much. But there's this one retail app that I think is very cool and very useful. Is the IKEA app. They
Oh.
Yeah.
integrated AR, so when
Mm,
I wanted to like decorate my house and see what I want to buy, it gave me like a life-size object of that AR,
mm,
AR furnitures and light lamps and so forth. So that's like really really helpful, and it's sort of like help me imagine my room before I'm buying things. So that's like one of like a very useful use case. So I guess the special thing AR can do is like you can spatial design. So it
yeah.
will help you to design your room or your wherever environment you want. So I guess like the IKEA apps like really really good, and I actually use it to purchase furnitures. Yeah.
speaking
More,
of
more.
IKEA,
Yeah.
that's
Sorry, sorry.
that I heard news that like they're actually gonna start paying like people to like work in their Roblox shop.
Oh yeah,
It's
I saw
yeah,
that headline. Yeah,
right,
but I
yeah.
didn't read the article. What was that
Which
about?
I think they're planning on like advertising their products on Roblox.
Oh.
I'm not
Hmm.
sure how or whether how real it will be or look,
They're coming in
but
early, man.
yeah, like that's so smart. Like everyone, every child or every, doesn't matter like your age group, but Roblox is definitely
I just played
one
Roblox
of
just now.
yeah, exactly. You see, it's like people use it, right? Like the fact is you have so much users on there. And yeah, what you said is true. Like IKEA is a step ahead in that section. At one point, Roblox is going to be so commercialized, which might be a good thing and a bad thing, but
Yeah,
it basically shows like the potential of it is so huge.
yeah,
But I
yeah.
think from a from perspective of a developer like ourselves, I think one thing that make AR so successful right now is because of the open source thing. Like Spark
Mhm,
AR is free, right? Roblox is free.
Yeah,
mhm.
I think open source community is the way to go as well for the future. Like how Figma we can share template and stuff. I think we can share the same thing for in Spark AR as well. We can share all these blogs, all these scripts. We can download a lot of free assets from the community. I think
Mm.
community is what pushes the entire thing forward, not the brand itself.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's always the best strength is always the community around the technology. So it's something that we're doing here is to find
Yes.
like-minded people around AR and try to build community around it. Yeah, I have a question for you, Lai.
Mm.
What do you see? How do you see? Because your I would say your identity is in your characters that you design, right? How would you see AR and your character will live together in the next few years? How do you see? Like, doesn't have to be AR in any form. Like even in Roblox, do you see these characters
Yeah,
will live
yeah.
in different multiverse?
So for the audience who doesn't know, I like to draw characters living into a moving space, like a car. We have a double storage car, and characters are living inside it. Sometimes the moving car could be a coffee place, a hotel, a shop, or something, right? But it just move around. So I'm obsessing with a moving space, like a moving castle, that kind of vibe. So I can see in the future, people can interact with this kind of fictional space that I've created exists right now in my mind only, but they can interact with them in a virtual space. So I also learning how to do some no code game. So hopefully when the time come, I can do some interaction stuff like to play a simple game, like for example, uh, to live in a day in the moving cafe, and then you just make some coffee to the second floor of the car or something. Then after that, you need to move your car or something. So I think that could be a really dream come true lah when that day comes.
You have a cafe as well, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I do. I do
Actually, a
have a
cafe.
cafe. So all these are like part of my research. How to make it, how to gamify it in the future in an
That's
AR
an
world.
expensive research to do. You open up a cafe just to research.
F&B is just a totally different game. But speaking of
Right.
which, I think F&B could be another way to push AR as well. Like they can just scan the cup or something and then come up with all the ingredients, the process.
Hmm.
I actually wanted AR to be more functional than just
Yeah.
that's pretty.
I think
I
once
like
uh,
that.
once we figure out like how to integrate AR with live data, I don't know, Ikram, have you done anything similar to that? Like taking streaming data from somewhere and present it in the form of AR.
Yeah, it's possible, but not with your free. I mean, open sources tools that we have now.
Okay.
But if we
Right.
use like web AR, definitely you can do it.
Yeah,
Mm.
Yeah, I've built something with like an AR AI chatbot, so you can like get OpenAI API key, and then you get it into that AI avatar.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so basically you can chat and talk to the um, character, and
Character.
then they will like reply you. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's just like one thing. But also, I think some countries they have like their LRT data that they have
Mm.
it online. So what this guy do is
That's
just
it. We have
making like
open data. We have it as well.
we have it. I
Yeah.
wanted to try and do that also, but I
Mm.
think it's not as easy as I thought it would be.
Uh-huh.
Maybe the data that they share is like maybe a different data or something. I need to like
Right.
explore that. But I see this guy, what he did is just making like an AR map of the train, and it you can see the train is coming nearby your place
Right.
or not.
And
So
it's
which
live.
is like really really cool. Yeah, it's live. So I
Right.
think that's like one of the thing that we
Very
can do with
functional.
AR. So it's very cool. And speaking of like AR and FMB, right? I think last month I saw. If you guys know the game Monster Hunter, have you
yeah,
guys
Yes.
heard?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
there's just like promotional. I'm not sure where the cafe is at. Maybe it's in Japan or something. So they have like a Monster Hunter theme cafe, and then when you scan the food in front of your table, it shows up like character making the food for you. So it's
that's
really
pretty
cool
cool.
thing to do for like a thematic cafe or something. So
Right.
yeah, that's like one of the cool thing you can do with AR and FNB, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, and characters as well, and IPs.
Hmm.
I think Lai, you're in a very good position because you have these characters, you have the know hows to do things. I think there's a lot of potential. that you can explore, especially
I think we can also talk about the struggle
the
as a
struggle. Yeah, the
artist
struggle,
developer,
man.
right? No. As a artist developer,
Mm,
I think the
mhm,
struggle is when we know, oh, we can do something as cool as this with code. We were so proud of it, but in artistic stand, it's just not pretty. It's just not,
mm,
it's not something that we would design for an app. But sometimes as simple as just lay up all the detail and then people move around your name card, everything pops out. They are impressed already. Then the things
mm.
that we code, so hard, and then so no one will appreciate it because it doesn't pretty. So I think that would
Mm,
be a dilemma lah, for artists who know how to code and all this logic stuff. We sometimes will turn off the creative side, and then we just focus on
mm.
how chunky the code is now, right now.
Yeah,
However,
yeah,
we also forget about how functional or how it's no longer pretty already. So
right,
that's the
right, right.
dilemma.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's all about striking that balance,
Yeah,
based on your purpose of the AR. Sometimes just layering things up works best, and
yeah.
that right. And sometimes you need a lot of codes to make it functional. So I
Like we
guess,
can use the sorry. So for one of the example is we can use the audio spike, and then we can generate different mouth opening, right? Like how big
right,
the mouth can be, right?
the
But
character, the
uh,
character's
but uh,
mouth.
but actually, if when we do this kind of AR, we open and close mouth, it works already. We don't even have to
Mm.
code that thing, right? But then
Right,
we
right.
could spend a lot of time just to code how much the mouth open based on your
Yeah.
audio input and all that stuff. It's unnecessary. So that would be a dilemma lah for a developer.
And also another dilemma is that optimization. You're talking
Yeah,
about
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Spark AR. You have to cram everything in a very small size, and you have to sacrifice a lot of details that
yeah.
artists would have, like, time to
Strokes.
spend time to create all these things, and then you have to let it go. So that's another
Yeah.
dilemma, I think.
So I think that's another thing on of 3D. I think 3D is like a vector, a vector thing to me. So I never put texture on my 3D. All the 3D I just use natural color, like base color
Mm.
only. But I mix around with a lot of different 3D lah to fake with the details. But I think 3D is like a vector in AR world. Hence I learned some 3D. But if we still talk about like texture, different stroke size, and all that grumpy kind of traditional art thing, I don't think it still works in AR right now.
Mm, it's a bit too smooth, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, all right. I think we're close to the end of our session for the first episode today. Um, any closing remarks, live for everyone here, or any messages for everyone here?
I think we come together to work on this event just so we can push the not just community. I think the how to say, the environment.
The community and the
The
industry,
culture.
the
Oh yeah,
culture.
yeah. Okay, let me restart.
Okay.
We'll
We,
cut
we
this out.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think we all come together and work on this AR fest, so to work on the culture, to make a habit out of AR, so people can know more about it. And when the device truly come to ordinary people, people will not, we will embrace it like we embrace phone. And I think it's also a really good time for all these developer, because we always hide in our room to do all this coding ourselves, but we never come out to social. I think it's also a good time we come out, exchange problems, exchange opinion, and let's dream about the future, what future might bring us to the digital world. That's what AR Fest is about.
Thank you. Such a beautiful closing remarks by Book of Lai. Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
thanks, thank you, thank you.
All right. So thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully we'll be able to do this much more frequent in the future. And if you have any comments or remarks, just drop us a line in our comment section. And do look out, watch this space. Do look out for announcement for our next activities around ARFest. It should happen around October-ish. We'll let you know. But in the meantime, just watch the space. Thank you very much, everyone. Bye bye.
It's done recording.